Here comes the weekend. It's coming. It's getting there. It's working its way here. But it's also time for Nintendo Talk. What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru. Time for the breakdown every day, Monday through Friday, every day in between. I take 5 to 10 minutes, typically, to take the top Nintendo news of the day, to talk about it, discuss it, break it down, give my opinions on it. So,
here we go.
And before we get going too far, I wanted to put the brakes on for a second. Toby will be joining me in a minute, my co-host on the Nintendo PlayStation podcast. We were honored to be reached out to by the creators of Tanzia, Matthias, I believe that's how you pronounce your name. I'm sorry if it's wrong. Matthias. I'm horrible with names. I am so bad with names. But anyway, regardless, thank you guys for reaching out to us. We're going to basically take a first impressions look at Tanzia. Toby had the opportunity to play a demo of this. So I basically am going to take his impressions. I had a bunch of questions for him, so I'm going to throw them at him. We're going to kind of work through this together and basically give you guys a sneak peek of what is to come of this game and what our first impressions are of this game and moving forward. This is coming to the Switch. Right now, they're looking at possibly a holiday. That's what they're shooting for. Holiday 2017. It will retail for $19.99. It's going to be on Steam and the Switch when it launches. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Let's get over there with Toby. Hey, Toby, how are you? Today you are going to talk to me about a new game coming to the Switch, right?
Hey Bobby, I'm not doing too bad, thank you very much. Yes, today I'm going to be telling you about Tanzia, and this is a game by Arcanity Incorporated.
I mean, it definitely looks to me like an MMO. Is that the impression you took away from this while playing it?
Yeah, I think that the developer is actually going for an offline MMO style experience. It's a single player game, but you take on a lot of side quests like you do in MMOs, where you go around, collect things, defeat enemies for other villagers and stuff. There was a particular mission when I got out of the tutorial area where a guy asked me to collect 10 boar poos. Basically you had to go around a field and collect boar droppings, and you didn't really get much for it. You got, I think he gives you 3 gold and 40 experience points, something like that. Kind of just a generic fetch quest thing. But they try and add a bit more personality into things, and they've got a sort of a pretty light sense of humour to things. It's not one of those serious games, as you can tell from the cartoony aesthetics. Everything's kind of a bit jovial and a bit, just a bit fun, really.
Obviously, a game is, built on fun and all that, and this is a demo. This isn't the final build, we know that. But my question to you is, what was your favorite part of your time with this demo?
My favourite part of playing the early access version of this game on Steam was probably when you unlock magic powers. Basically, the race of people that you play as, they have the ability to cast magic spells, and also they do alchemy, where they can make potions and stuff that refills their health and mana and makes them invisible or upgrades their speed for a limited time. But the real fun part was in the combat, where you could throw fireballs at enemies, and you can use an ice spell to slow them down. And I even read somewhere on the Steam page, I think, that you can use a spell that basically uses vines or something natural like that comes out of the ground and holds them in place. And they do encourage you to experiment a bit with the combat and try and be a bit more tactical. Perhaps if the enemy's quick and they're going to run at you, then you might want to slow them down with an ice spell and then get some distance between you and the enemy and then chuck a fireball at them. And the fireball is really satisfying when it hits them and explodes.
What are your major takeaways from the time you spent with Tanzia?
So my major takeaway from this, the time I had with this early access version, was it's clearly still in development, but they have got a solid foundation of a game. It ran very smoothly, didn't drop any frames hardly anywhere. It's really bright and colourful, the art is great, especially for an independent studio. It looks like very, very nice. I think there are perhaps issues with the side quests if they stay as fetch quests, etc. Maybe further into the game they get a bit more interesting. But this is the sort of game that I can see really fitting the Switch, and you being able to spend a lot of time just laying in bed at night and just, you know, going out and doing quests and completing the main story and exploring the environment. It's a very chill game, and I think that it would probably be quite a good match for the Switch.
Do you feel like this is a game with promise, and does it have you excited?
I think this will be a great game for the Switch. The Switch has got a lot of independent developers making games for it at the moment, and this is just another one to add on top of that pile. And I think this is the sort of genre that is sort of underrepresented at the moment on the Switch. That sort of a vast offline MMO type experience of just exploring in a 3D world, sort of a cartoony 3D world like that. So yeah, I think it has potential, and I think it will find an audience.
So I gotta ask, Toby, how much time have you spent with the demo?
I think I spent around an hour of playtime. I think half an hour of that was in the tutorial area of the starting village. It was a little bit confusing at first, trying to navigate my way around and figure out what I had to do, because there was a village elder that wanted me to complete some basic quests, you know, to get my equipment and learn how combat works and stuff. And that stuff's a little bit boring, but it's necessary, I guess. You do learn how to use your spells and to do alchemy, which I can see being quite an integral part to the game as you progress. There was a part that I found, it's sort of a workbench. You can go and buy a gem that you can put into your staff, and that upgrades your health or your attack somehow, and I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I only spent about half an hour outside of the village in the main part of the world, and that's actually where it started to get a bit more interesting. I was exploring and I found a beach with some turtle enemies, and then I went to the left, and by some trees there was a little campfire with some sort of troll or goblin type enemies. Had a fight with them, but then they were a bit stronger than I was and they managed to kill me. There was a little bit of a dodgy hit detection thing going on, and that's why I think the combat does still need a bit of work. The enemies can hit you when they're nowhere near you, and you can hit them as well when you're nowhere near them. But you know, it is in early access still, it's still in development, so these sort of things can get ironed out. But yeah, the experience got way more entertaining when I could explore the world at my own leisure and, you know, find new landmarks and see new things. It was pretty cool.
After playing this demo of Tanzia, do you feel like you've seen it all, or do you feel like there's more to be shown, or what was your takeaways overall with all of this?
So I only really spent about an hour with the game, so I think I got a good basic feel for it, but I definitely didn't see all the game has to offer. It's a large island that you can explore, and there are plenty of different environments that I didn't get to see. There are people on the Steam store page who have got 15 hours on record, and I think that they've still not completed the game themselves. So I don't think it's a small game, and I think it's going to have a lot to offer. Hopefully there's a lot more variety in the side quests, as I was saying, and, you know, hopefully the story gets a bit more interesting. So, but you know, they're doing a good job building the characters and building the world, and yeah, so I think it's an interesting little game, and it'll be cool to see it when it actually does come to Switch.
So that is all. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first impressions take of Tanzia by Toby and myself. If you want to see more of this stuff, let us know in the comments below. Like, is this what you want to see us do? If we can, we will try to continue to do more of this. Thank you to the creators of Tanzia. You guys are amazing. So thank you so much for reaching out to us. We cannot be that much more appreciative than we already are, man. We are like blown away, and I was blown away to get the email from you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody, go check out Tanzia for yourself. Go look at, different video footage that's up on YouTube and all that stuff. Like, go check out as much as you can. Go follow them at PlayTanzia on Twitter. Follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Like this video down below. Share it with all your friends. That is all. Peace out, Preston.